Welcome to Winning the Game of Life. I'm your host Shawn Chhabra. Today I'm very happy because once again I have a happiness and habit expert here who is Braco Pobric. Welcome to the show, Braco.
Hey, Shawn, thank you. Thanks for the invite.
How about you introduce yourself so that maybe I messed up with your name?
Sounds good, Shawn. Sure. So, yeah, my name is Braco Pobric, and I am the best-selling author of this book, Habits and Happiness. I am a former globally certified Dale Carnegie trainer and business coach. And I'm sure a lot of your listeners know about Dale Carnegie and his program. And I'm also founder and the chief happiness officer of the Institute for Advanced Human Performance. So what I do is I just love my work. I'm a certified positive psychologist. I teach workshops, and I have over 10,000 online students. And this is, truly my calling. I still do have my full-time job. I work as an executive in a large financial firm. But this is my calling. This is what I love to do and my passion. So thanks again for the invite.
Yeah, very good, very good. I know this is your calling. That's why you woke up so early and we are talking here early morning.
Thanks, Shawn. I was up at 5. I did my exercise. I did my meditation. I'm ready to do this one now.
Okay, like I know you will be more interested to talk about your calling and what you do today and what's your book because I think you're on a book tour these days. But I really, for my listeners and viewers, I really want to take you back, like how you became what you are today.
Sure, that's a great question. I often like to say since I'm a positive psychologist, but I often like to say that, and it's all based on science of happiness. I like to say that it was all established back home. I like to say that my mom was positive psychologist before the field was even established, and I must say I was lucky that I had that happy childhood. And then what happened is I was always into different businesses, and that brought me into I had a number of different businesses, and as I have today as well. And that brought me into the leadership, right? Understanding, setting up goals, seeing your vision, really understanding what you want in life, and then as I was, I was teaching basically even in the high school back in the days as my part-time job because I just love doing that. And then, after teaching for a number of years globally, Dale Carnegie program, I realized that I just love helping people and being with people. But I wanted to get science behind it. And this is how I, study habits and happiness. And this is how I, really ran into a science of positive psychology. And it's interesting, you and I just talked briefly before the interview. You interviewed Michelle, all right, and Eckhor, and Shawn Eckhor and I, have Shawn endorsed my book, and we had a lot of discussions, and I just love that work. So that's really what brought me here, I think, the love and passion and enthusiasm.
So you are a happiness expert and habit expert, and you are helping the world. Like this is going to be a happier day for me today. So let me ask you, do you think anybody and everybody can be happy?
So I think that everybody and anybody can be happier, right? So, only crazy people are happy all the time, right? So we can't be happy all the time, but we can be happier. And the good thing is that there is a lot of science behind it. There are a lot of tools that we can use that are proven with thousands and thousands of people to help us become happier. So yes, I do believe we can. It is not easy for some people. Somebody asked me, said, well, I'm 30 years, I'm being miserable. How are you going to make me happy? It's not easy for some folks, but yes, the answer is we can become happier.
Like yesterday only, like one of my vendor, I'm a wholesale computer company. Me and my wife and our employees, we run like a wholesale, mostly we buy and sell iPads and iPhones and things like that in wholesale business to business.
Oh,
Yesterday I just called one of my vendor. I don't want to name him. We know each other for last like 20 years. I said, so how are you? He said, miserable. So So what I was supposed to, how I was supposed to help him yesterday?
Yeah, that's really difficult. There's no really easy answer, especially when he's your vendor and depending of the business relationships. And if he's your friend, you can say, "Come on, man, cheer up, let's talk, let's grab a coffee," right? But it all depends of the relationships, I think. I think it all depends on when you said call yesterday morning. It all depends from the time you wake up. I do a little crazy exercise. I call it wake up with a smile call. At night before I go to sleep, I schedule it. I know that when I hear the alarm, I'm going to smile. And I'm going to smile not because I'll be happy in the morning, because sometimes we're all miserable in the morning, but because I know when I do that, when I smile, I'm going to get some dopamine. My body will give me some happy chemical and will make me feel better.
Actually, somewhere I was reading. I'm trying to grab a pencil here. Somewhere I was reading, like if you're reading, like watching a comedy movie or reading a comic or something, if you just hold the pencil under your teeth, you know, that way you will be enjoying more and becoming more happy. So I don't know how that is true, but you have that background. So you think like making physical changes or smiling and holding the pencil under your teeth and those kind of things can really release the dopamine and you can start becoming happier instantly.
Yes. So what you're doing with a pencil, actually, there is an actual research behind it. So it's not it's not just made up. There was a research, and they had the people to hold a pencil, and they had people just to make that smile, and they had the people just to kind of make the frown, face, and then they had a as we call control group in psychology, and they realized that the people who basically had a pencil who made a smile, they were significantly happier, and they improved their well-being after doing that. So now, do you need? Yes, you do get some dopamine. Are you going to become immediately happier? You may not even recognize that. So it's not something you're going to be. Oh, I'm so happy now because I hold a pencil. It doesn't really work that way. But you will get some chemical that will make you feel better.
Actually, the other day I was interviewing one of my friend. He also a co-podcaster. He was saying one of his guests told me one day, like, if you got a car parked and a car is stopped somewhere, you cannot steer it. So car had to be moving, and you take a step, go left or go right, and eventually, if you're going wrong way, you will find it and steer to the right direction, and you will be moving and you will be reaching your goal. That was something different than happiness, but I'm just trying to connect in my head, because he said if it's a stopped car, it cannot be steered, it cannot be moved unless you start moving. So maybe for happiness, like for the dopamine release, we need a starting point. That's what something like that we are trying to do.
Yeah, I think what you just said, it's a great point for everything in life, not just happiness. We have to make action, right? So nothing happens, nothing happens, or very few things happen just like, with no reason. So we got to make action, right? So even with the happiness, if you make an action in the morning to call your friend, to have a good time, to maybe watch some comedy, to do the exercise, to do meditation. So you need to make some action. So it's the same thing with the car. Without that action and traction, it's not going to move. Same thing is going to happen to us. So I think you're making great point. I like that. I like that point with the car. So we need to move. I agree with that. We need to move to do anything in life. And I often like to compare. People often talk about law of attraction, right? Or just being a positive thinking rather. And difference between law of attraction and positive thinking and science of happiness is that with the science of happiness, there are scientifically proven tools. That's number one. But number two, I like to say that you always have to make action, right? So your brain, the law of attraction that I'm sure you're aware of, right? So
Yeah,
when we
oh,
start,
I had to stop you there because I'm getting so excited to say that. Like anything I want, I just think, and things start falling on my lap. I start aligning. Like I was interviewing you, but before that, see here, I mean, some of the people are watching this video, and some of people are just listening. But I'm holding a book, an autograph from Michelle Galen. She's a happiness expert, just like you. and how I aligned with her and you, because in my mind I was just thinking and meditating on that in my head. This is what I want. These kind of people I want to interview, and I just want. I schedule her and you and all these people before I launched my podcast. I launched my podcast last week, and this morning my podcast is number one in all the possible categories in news, new and newsworthy on iTunes. So how
Nice.
all that happen?
So here's how it happens.
Uh-huh.
You visualize that, right? You kept thinking this is what you want, but that by itself wouldn't make it happen. Now here's where the science comes, right? So because sometimes the problem with the law of attraction is we're going to tell people just start seeing the checks in mail, you're going to see the checks. No, here's what happens. You visualized that, but you took action. You reached out to me. You called me. You Skyped me. You emailed me yesterday. You Skyped me 45 minutes ago saying it's going to be 45 minutes. You Skyped me 5 minutes. This is why it happens, because you took action and you visualize it. And your brain, when you visualize it, really doesn't know the difference between real thing and what it sees in the brain. So it helps you to bridge that gap. That's why it happened for you, my friend.
Actually, the other day I was talking to John Asraf, and his life was featured in, I think, the Secret movie,
Yeah, yeah.
and he was saying the only thing wrong, he wish he can go back and redo the movie, because in the movie it says just you just think and it happens. He said no, you visualize, but you have to take the action, and that is missing element in that movie. That's what he said.
What? That's pretty cool to hear that he said that, and I respect him and his work very much. But I'm glad he told you that, because that's what I believe. I didn't hear from anybody. That's my view.
Yeah, so what you just said, what he says, that is so aligned with what I was just discussing with you. Like I visualize, I just my body mind just be there the minute I think I want to do this. So after that, there's no ifs and buts. I just pick up my one foot, move forward, and to keep my body balanced, my other foot have to come up and move forward.
Yeah, I think you explained this so well. I do visualization exercises in all my workshops. And I have to tell you, sorry, a lot of people don't know about it, and the way I run it, we don't have a lot of time, but this seemed to be one of the most successful and loved exercises. I hear from people 6 months later who say, I cannot believe what happened in my life. I still do that exercise in the morning. And so it's visualization. Again, there's a lot of research behind the visualization. When we sit down, close our eyes, and see something, you see what there's something called the best possible self exercise in Boston psychology. You see your best possible self. You see, and then again, the brain says, well, hold on, I just saw this, but it didn't happen. Let me help you. That's really, I'm making this, I'm simplifying, but that's how it works.
Yeah, so your brain start wandering and trying to figure out how to make it work.
Exactly right. It wants to help you, basically. It says, hey, I just saw this. It's like, think about this, right? You're just looking at me now, right? And look at me. If you close your eyes for a second, do you still see me?
Yeah.
Right? So that's really what it is. But I wasn't there, because if you closed your eyes, you physically cannot see me. So the brain doesn't know the difference between, what it sees when you close your eyes versus what it really sees with your eyes. And that's why it helps you to bridge the gap.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So if I start thinking negative things, I can start like all the stress and anxiety and everything. And if I start visualizing positive things, everything aligned that way. So everything is positive. Brain will see everything happening the right way.
Exactly right. Same thing when you think negatively. Same thing happens, right? What happens? You just go down, get more cortisol. You don't feel good. It's all, and then you see the whole world is bad. Out of one little instance, it's like kids fail the exam, and all of a sudden they see their life is ruined. Instead of seeing it was just one exam, I failed. They're going to study more. They're going to pass next time.
Okay, one thing, are you like connected to internet with the wire or wireless?
It's actually funny. I'm wireless, but I think I have a pretty good, very good wireless here.
Yeah, sometime I see like lag in the image, so I'm going to disconnect and like
Okay.
I'm going to disconnect the call and call again.
Okay.
So everything will be edited anyway. This is being pre-recorded.
I understand.
Okay, so
Sure.
let me disconnect and call you.
Sure.
Yeah, sometimes what happens is like a video take a lot of bandwidth,
Mm-hmm.
and Skype try to not send the full data.
Understood.
Yeah, but this is good enough. So tell me, what should I ask you next? Should we move to the habits? How to change habits and how to get rid of bad habits?
We could, if you wish. Anything is good for me.
Okay. So, Mr. Bracho, like now I want to switch the gear and I would like to talk to you about the habits. Like how can we get rid of bad habits or undesired habits, and how can we form like a better habits we want?
Sure. So yeah, that's a great question. And to be honest with you, there is no like easy, quick answer, but there are a lot of things that we can do. So one thing is changing our bad habits, which has like one process, and the other thing is creating new habits, which has a little bit different process. So what we can do is we can pick one habit. Let's say that that you think your listeners would like to introduce and or change, and we'll walk it through and we'll figure out what we can do. Do you want to pick something, or I can pick? It's up to
Yeah,
you.
I'm just trying to think like maybe my listeners want to stay more focused on, like, let us say they decided to start a business or move in like a one kind of career and they want to really pursue that and stop moving to the left and right to other businesses. Let us say they decided they want to get into some trading business or restaurant business or online business or something. They move forward, spend a week or month or two, and then they say, this is not for me. How they can stay focused and like really pursue that and not just keep looking in the left and right other businesses. They think, well, maybe I'm in the wrong direction.
Okay, fair enough. So I think this involves, and we can discuss it, a little more than just the habits, because here's what we need to do now, right? So we say, I want to start one business, right? So that by itself, now you're going to start breaking down into little things that you want to do. What's the first thing to do? Well, I need to do some research, right? Okay, how are you going to do research? Well, I need to, spend some time in the internet. Okay, how much time do you want to spend? What books do you want to? And then you break it down and you say, okay, I need to spend an hour a day researching. Okay, when do you want to do it? Well, I want to do 6 a.m. Good. So now you're getting into something. So how am I going to wake up 6 a.m. if I go to sleep 3 a.m.? Well, you can't. Right? So now you're going to have to start changing some other habits to say, well, I need to little by little start going to bed earlier. So I will wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I will do that 1 hour of research. Now, that 1 hour is not easy to do. So making a new habit that's big, it doesn't happen overnight. Only for few of us, for few listeners, may happen. What I suggest you do is break it down into what Dr. Carl Weck calls small wins. So you know you need to do research for an hour, get up at 6 a.m., do it for 5 minutes. And you're going to say, well, but what's 5 minutes? What 5 minutes is, it gives you a little bit dopamine. It says, look, you did it, man, right? So I'm going to, right? And then the next day you say, I'm going to do 6 minutes and 8 minutes. And you build it little by little. For most of us, this is the best way of establishing habits.
Oh, you need to have a taste of successness and happiness.
Exactly. You have to, exactly right. Your brain needs to see that you can accomplish it. And what happens is we give ourselves big goals, right? You're going to say, oh, I'm going to start this new business and I'll make X amount of money. And, a friend of mine, I just, went to the class and it's just so easy. I can make $100,000, working a couple hours a day. And we started believing in that. And when we start digging and working, we realize that that's not that simple and we give up. right? I believe that a lot of listeners, that's why we keep changing our minds and we keep changing, going to different businesses. Not only, I mean, you're right. One reason is because we're not focused. But to be focused, A, we need to know what we really want, right? B, you really have to have a huge why, huge reason to do something. Meaning that you want to establish a new habit. My question is, new business. My question is why? And then they're going to say, well, because I want to make more money. Why? Right? Go dig. And, like as Dr. Viktor Frankl calls, that's really in finding that meaning, finding that why. And when you find the why, you'll figure out how. I know that. But why is important.
That's very good point. I'm mesmerized, I'm lost, I'm just listening to you, and I started going back and thinking. So anyway, show is not about me, it's about my guest. So it's your day today. So like we have only few minutes left. How about we talk about your book?
Sure. Thank you. So the book, Habits and Happiness, How to Become Happy and Improve Your Well-Being by Changing Your Habits, started as as I was working with Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, who you might know was really the first, he was a famous professor who did that positive psychology program at Harvard University. And he had, I believe, like 1,500 students, which was amazing. Think about it, right? Shouldn't they be happy they at the Harvard? They accepted at the top university in the world, and this was their main class because they want to learn how to be happy. Yes. So as I was studying with Dr. Tal, one of my research was on habits, and what I did is, while doing the research, I didn't want to be just researcher because I'm somebody who wants to implement things. So I'm an engineer. I need to see the science, but I also need to see the product. So what I did is everything that I did here, every research that I did, I implemented in my life. If it worked, I put it here. If it didn't work, I didn't put it here. Now, doesn't mean it will work for you, but a lot of, there are a lot of tools and exercises and simple forms that people can go through this. And the idea is really they pick their own habit, but I give them all the tools so they can change the habits or create the new ones really easily.
Can you discuss some of the tools here, and like before even somebody buy the book or not buy the book, at least today they can really learn something and implement? Is that possible even
Of course.
through the audio and video?
Absolutely. And honestly, look, Shawn, this is all about you and me helping the audience. It's not about buying the book. Nobody has to buy the book. So I'm really not selling. Even when I go to my promotions and book tours and stuff, I just love the workshops. And for me, it's not about selling the books. I just want to make that clear. So let me share a few tools. Number one is what I call few secrets, right? So secret number one is you have to believe that you can change your habits. Now, what do I mean by that? It sounds simple, right? But there is a lot of research behind. Dr. Bruce Lipton did something was called Power of Belief. And he did research years ago when everybody thought he was crazy. And what he proved is that when you believe in something, and you just shared your story, how you believed and visualized. When you believe, your body, all the way down to the cell level changes. Can you believe that? Your cells change when you believe in something. Same thing happens when you don't believe, right? The opposite. So that's the first thing, right? Believe that you can do this. Number two is you need to take these small steps. So we talked about these small wins, right? Take it little by little, right? If you want to, start exercising 45 minutes a day, forget about 45 minutes. Here's what you do. First thing, this is exactly how I did it. Put your shoes next to your bed. Wake up in the morning, go, yes, I did it. Here's my shoes, I put them on. Next way, do the minute. So again, we don't have a lot of time. That's the second thing. Another thing is that what Shawn Achor, Michelle's husband, what Shawn Achor calls 20-second rule. And I really love this. So if you want to do something, right, make it as close as possible to you. Now, you want to eat more fruit, put it on your kitchen table. Don't hide it in the fridge. You want to, eat less junk, take it down to the basement. That's what I do. I still have some junk food, but it's in the basement. So it's inconvenient. It's 20 seconds away from me, right? You want to watch less TV, Take the battery out of the remote, right? Hide it in somewhere in a drawer. It's only 20 seconds away from you, but trust me, your brain is going to go, I'm not going to do this, right? These are like just a few things that we can do to change our habits, just like kind of quickly. And there's something else actually important that I haven't really seen in the research, but something that I call circle habits. And what we do is often we're going to say, I'll start exercising tomorrow. I'll start next week, right? I'm on vacation the following week. Well, when I come back, right? Maybe it's just me, but right, we go to circle. So you have two options. This is really important. A lot of folks from psychotherapy, psychology took this. There's a lot of blogs, and my friend Dr. Dana Marino, she just implements this with all her patients. So what you have to do is really have two choices. Number one, like Nike, just do it, right? Not easy, but that's your choice number one. Choice number two is put it off until you're ready. Meaning that don't drive yourself crazy. Here's why. When you do this circle habit, not only that you didn't start your habit, but you made yourself feel bad because you go, oh my God, I keep saying I'm going to do this, but I just didn't do it yet. So I think it's important for listeners to understand, if they get into this circle, stop the circle, put it away, say, if you really don't have time, say, well, let me put it away for 2 weeks, and then reevaluate again 2 weeks later.
Yeah, that way you're not feeling as a failure.
Bingo! That's the key. Yes. Yes, because when you feel as a failure, you go, I just can't do this, right? And your brain goes, well, you don't want to do it? I'm not going to help you either, buddy. That's it.
Yeah, you should say, okay, actually I will start 2 weeks from today. Right now I just can't say tomorrow. So 2 weeks from today is the day I will start. So that way at least it's there on the calendar, and if you believe in the system, a calendar or whatever you have achieved or done in your life, 2 weeks back, 2 weeks later, you will just jump on that and do it.
Exactly. And just one more quick, there's something I call, actually Dr. Mihail Csikszentmihalyi calls the activation energy. So everything that we do needs that little spark. Just like when you turn on the car, all it needs that little spark and it will go, right? So we need to make that little action. Again, something little that will, you want to start exercising, but you don't want to go to gym. Well, do you have a space at home? Can you buy a little machine? Maybe you don't need any machine. Can you walk out? But you need to make, as you've been doing, these actions. Those are like little sparks, I call activation energy, that we need to start any new habit or get rid of the old bad habit.
Yeah, you need a like a jump start, or like you warm up, or you need to get up and do it.
Bingo. And there's something important for listeners to understand, because this drives us crazy. Interesting enough, but your habits that you establish, they can never be, there is a neural pathway that's created in our brain that never gets deleted. That's why it's hard to get rid of the old habits. This neural pathway, if you've been doing something for years, you can't easily get rid of it. The only thing what you can do is replace it with another habit. And if you have another minute, I can give you.
Oh, sure. We can always split this into 2 episodes anyway.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So for your listeners, so let's say they have one habit that they really want to stop. So I'll give you one example that I went through when I was doing research. I used to love Diet Coke, right? Uh-huh. So I would go outside Saturday, Sunday, cut the grass, right? Garage door would be open. I would walk in, open up the fridge. On the eye level, on the shelf, there was a case of Diet Coke. Take it out and drink it. And then I was doing this research, and I said, hold on, why am I? So you have to analyze your habits, right? And again, this difficult to explain everything in a few minutes, but you have to analyze your habits. Every habit has a few parts.
Like there are triggers.
Bingo. That's exactly what it is. There's always trigger. Even if you don't know what it is, I guarantee there's a trigger for everything you do. You brush your teeth in the morning, maybe as soon as you wake up, maybe before you go to work, maybe after you watch TV, maybe before you I don't know how, but I guarantee you, right, there is a trigger. And then there is a routine. You do your thing, your habit, and then there is a reward. So every habit, even habits that are bad for us, have a reward, believe it or not, right? The reward could be bad for us or good for us. So I analyzed this habit and I said, what triggers it? Well, I go out, I cut the grass, right? And then I get thirsty. Okay, I get sweaty. Okay, that's the trigger. And what's my routine? I go to garage, I open up the fridge, I get this drink and I drink. Okay, good. What's my reward? Well, feels good, right? I'm not thirsty anymore. Oh, now I said, okay, let me keep parts of the habit loop. We call the habit loop, right? Let me keep a parts but replace something else. So here's what I did. I said, what's the trigger for my new habit? Because I really wanted to drink water, but I didn't know how to replace this. So I said, let me keep the same trigger. I get thirsty and I get sweaty. Good. Now, what's my routine? I go to garage. Okay, I keep that. I open the fridge. I keep that. Now what do? I replace the Diet Coke with the water on the same shelf, in the same fridge, in the same garage, in the same, all right? So everything stays the same except that one little tiny thing. Now there's a water waiting for me. I take a water, I drink it. What's my reward? Still good reward. I feel good. So this is what I call these replacements habits. So when you have something, try to think of how you can replace it with something that's better for you.
Oh, not only that, in your example, you are disciplined enough just to replace 100% diet soda with the 100% water. Some of the people, if they think they can't, at least they can start fill them first with the water, then start drinking soda. So that way they will never finish the soda, and eventually they will get rid of that.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So my listeners and viewers will be enjoying and making some changes today. Hey guys, you have to implement these things. You can't just watching the show and listening the podcast cannot make your habits change.
You know, Shawn, you and I so think alike. That's the first thing I tell people. And what I do is I go back to Peter Drucker, who we all know, was the world leader in leadership. And when Peter Drucker was getting older, he couldn't go out and do the workshops, but he would call like top leaders to come to his house. And the first day, it was like 3 days weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the first day, he would tell them what I tell everybody when I do the workshop. He said, don't tell me how great time you had. Don't tell me it was really awesome to be with Peter Drucker for 3 days. Tell me on Monday when you call me, what are you doing differently? So I want your listeners to call you and tell you what are they doing differently based on our discussion.
Okay, that's it. You guys have to tweet or send the messages or call me, or you can go to my website. You can send a voice messages from there. Just click and tell me. Or my phone number is on the website. You can just call me. Tell me if you learned something. Should I continue these podcasts? Should I start it? Should I be inviting these kind of great guests, or we should be just having party here?
I love it.
We can tweak. We can just do whatever people want. This show is for the listeners and viewers, not to just make me happy. That's a bonus and gravy. Like I'm learning and growing as a person, by surrounding myself with people like you and a lot of other industry leaders. So my friend, we are close to the end of the show. So how people can connect with you?
Sure. So will we be able to put something?
Yes, we will be putting all your links, whatever you gave in your bio, but I still want to hear in your voice for my listeners and viewers.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So they can connect me a couple of different ways. They can connect me. They can feel free to send me an email. It's Braco, BRACO, at Habits and Happiness, just like the book name, habitsandhappiness.com. They can connect with me via Facebook. Just look for Braco Pobric, Pobric, and there is a page called Habits and Happiness, and please feel free to connect with me over there. Feel free to find me on a LinkedIn. The one thing that I do is, and I would like to do something for your listeners, Shawn. It just something popped up to my mind because they want to learn more, but we would like to give them a little more. So what I will do, Shawn, is I'm going to send you a link, and I want to give them one of my programs for free. They go from like $30 to $300, whatever it is. But I'll give them one for free.
Wow.
I'll send you the link.
You
I'll
are
send you the coupon.
you are
and they
so
can go
kind.
on
You're so kind.
Yeah, this is all about helping people, right? So I will send you the coupon name, and if you can just, make that available for folks, please feel free to, sign up. And if you have any questions, you can post it right there. And, I'm usually respond within 48 to 72 hours. And I just, love helping. So yes, I will do that, Shawn, for all your listeners.
Thank you very much. It has been a wonderful morning for me, at least, and I'm sure for my listeners now and for viewers, you are also giving away one of your program for free, and I'll be posting that coupon code on my website so that people can come and get it. And thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Shawn. Thank you, Shawn. This was a pleasure.
Do not throw that old phone away. Your trash may be hidden gold. We want your old device and will pay top dollar for it. Our process is as easy as 1, 2, 3. We offer no obligation sales. If you have a problem with the price that we gave you, we will return the device to you at no charge. Fast payment, free shipping, free data wipe, risk-free transaction. Buybackqueen.com.